Merry Christmas, everybody. I wanted to just visit with you for a moment and hopefully give you a word of encouragement. You know, we hear a lot around Christmas time about keeping Christ in Christmas and making sure that we don't get distracted by the trappings and the presents and so forth, to make sure that Jesus remains the center. But, you know, I think sometimes the danger is more subtle than that. I want to share with you just a couple of thoughts really quick about how easily we displace Jesus from the center on a regular basis, not just Christmas time. So a couple of thoughts I want to read to you guys. John chapter 5, verse 38 and 39, Jesus says this. John 5, 39 and 40. You study the scriptures diligently, he says to the Pharisees, because you think that by them you have eternal life. But these are the very scriptures that testify me, yet you refuse to come to me to have life. The idea here is that the Pharisees were theological experts. They studied the scriptures day and night. They could quote the Bible backwards and forwards, and yet when the person that the Bible was talking about came, they missed him. Bible study actually became their God. Tozer, one of my favorite authors, and I always want to encourage you guys to read A.W. Tozer. He has this to say. This is a great quote from his book, The Pursuit of God, which is a book, of course, I would recommend. He says this: sound Bible exposition is an imperative must in the Church of the Living God. Without it, no church can be a New Testament church in any strict meaning of that term. But exposition may be carried on in such a way as to leave the hearers devoid of any true spiritual nourishment whatever. For it is not mere words that nourish the soul, but God himself. And unless and until the hearers find God in personal experience, they are not the better for having heard the truth. The Bible is not an end in itself, but a means to bring men into an intimate and satisfying knowledge of God, that they may enter into him, that they may delight in his presence, may taste and know the inner sweetness of the very God himself in the core and center of their heart. So I want to encourage you that nothing, including theology and Bible study, distract you from God himself, from knowing Jesus, knowing the Lord himself. And of course, we can't know the Lord apart from the scriptures. We can't know the Lord apart from good theology. Good theology opens up our hearts and minds to know God more and be in awe of him. But I run into people all the time who are so focused on knowledge, so focused on facts and details, which are important, that those actually eclipse knowing the Lord himself. My great-grandmother had a third-grade education and walked closer with Jesus and knew him better and knew her Bible better than a lot of people that I know that are actually theologically educated. So I want to encourage you, not just because it's Christmas, but certainly during the Christmas season, don't miss Jesus. When you study the scriptures, when you hear a sermon or a podcast, when you listen to a worship song, when you go to a Bible study, remember that at the end of the day, God seeks relationship with us. We're made in his image so that we might know him and glorify him. The reason we were created. So don't miss out. Come into the presence of the Lord and know him. Merry Christmas.